All right, what's up guys? It's Jack with Creative JC. Today is my first YouTube video, so we'll see how shitty this is. We are going to be starting off by showing you how I created this logo. That will be our first YouTube video, and then tomorrow, or the next upload, which will be tomorrow, I am going to show you how I created this logo animation. Okay, so let's get into it. So I use Adobe Illustrator for my logo creations, not for the animations, but for the creations and branding, I use Adobe Illustrator. So if we go down over into the layers panel here, you can drop this layer down and show it's all grouped right now. So let's go and actually ungroup everything. And to do that, I'm just clicking Control-Shift-G to ungroup. Or on a Mac, it's Command-Shift-G. And then we're gonna go do it again because there's multiple groups in this. And now we can see we have all these individual pieces. So if we break it apart, we have this piece, we have this piece, we have this piece, and this piece, and then all of these are separate pieces too. So this should give you an idea of how we created this logo, or how I created this logo. These are all just simple gradients when you actually break them all apart. So anyway, let's go File, New, and we're gonna set this up. I typically just do 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels when I'm doing a new logo. And for this, we can just use RGB color, escape red, green, blue. Sometimes, dependent on what it's going to be used for, you can use CMYK. It's going to be for a client who is more print-based. And for this, we can just do 72 dpi. It's just fine. So we'll click Create here. We're going to get our blank canvas. I'm going to go ahead and on this one, I'm just going to exit out of it. And obviously, I don't want to save those changes. So the first thing I did to create this logo, I'm going to go Text, type in the bracket. Go like this, and you know what we're going to do? I'm going to open the other logo, and we're going to take all of these pieces, and I will bring them in here so you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Now let's see, we're going to go over to Properties. And for text, I hit T, by the way, to get to text as the shortcut. Otherwise, it is over on your toolbar here. So I'm going to make this bigger, and I'm going to hold Shift at the same time, so that way it stays in proportion. Okay, so now I can't quite remember what font. Actually, you know what? I don't think I used a font. That would be one way to do it, but I think I actually did it like this. The rectangle. This, and back to, if you hit V, it'll go back to the selection tool. And we're going to hold Shift again, so it goes the correct increments, the correct increments. And then we're going to go Control-C to copy, and then we're going to go Control-Shift-V, which will copy it in place directly on top of the other one, as you can see. Okay, so I'm going to hold Control-Shift, and I'm going to move the arrow over a few until we get about the width that we are looking for. Well, maybe even a little bigger because this is taller. Okay, let's start right there. Now, if we take both of these things and we go over here to the Pathfinder tool, and if that's not open for you, if you go to Window, and then if you for Pathfinder, which should be right here. No. Okay, so we've got Pathfinder. We're going to click on this one, which is Divide, and I'll divide it all into separate pieces. If we go over to the Direct Selection tool, or hit A on the keyboard, we can click off, and then we can start selecting and deleting. Okay. So now we got these two pieces. We're going to go again Control-Shift-G to ungroup, and we've got these two pieces. So then the last thing we need to do is we need to flatten it off, right? So if we're going to flatten these off, let's take another square, and right above it or something. We can just, as long as we cover the whole thing, we can go like this, And we'll select this, this, and this, and we'll use the same thing, just go divide. Perfect. Take, again, the direct selection by hitting A, space, and now these are each individual spots here too. Okay. Now I could do the same thing and line it up perfectly, but that takes more time. Excuse me. Contacts are bothering me. For all of you that wear contacts, these ones are getting old. I need to put a new pair in. So anyway, instead of trying to line everything up, we're just going to go like this and do the same thing. Go here, select everything underneath, divide it all up, and then use direct selection by hitting A on the keyboard and deleting all of these. Now, I bet a lot of you can guess what I'm going to do next. We're going to take this object and we'll copy and then Control-Shift-V to copy or to paste in place. And we're going to go up here to Object, Transform, and we will go to Reflect. Okay. And I am sorry, my cat just hit my tripod. Hopefully that all still works for you guys. Okay. So we are going to flip, and we want to flip it horizontally. Click OK. And now we're going to drag this down. Intersects. And we've got these two right here. We're just going to select all of it. And we're going to use this Pathfinder again and click Join. So now we've got these two pieces. Let's Control-Shift-G to ungroup them. We've got this individual, and we're going to go this way. The next thing to do would be to create this behind this C. So we're going to do Pathfinder. We're going to go here on that edge to here on this edge. That, and then all the way down here and here. Okay, I'm gonna excuse me 1 second. All right, this is the little devil. She was playing with my tripod. Cute, huh? All right, back to this though. Okay, we created this other piece here. Right? We're going to move this, so this piece right here, let's just change them all to random colors so we can differentiate all the pieces. You can hear her in the background. Okay, let's use this one. Just make it green. Red and green, you know, Christmas in October, September, why not? So we're going to take this piece and we're going to hold Control-Shift or Command-Shift if you're on a Mac, and then the left bracket tool to make it go behind. Okay, perfect. So now the next thing would be is the, we're going to move all of this, we're just going to move it up. And the next thing sorry, I got this cat hair all over me now. Woo! Let's make that C. So this is pretty easy. Type tool, C. We're going to find, I'm trying to remember if it was Poppins or Railway, let's find out. Poppins. Get rid of that. Yes, it was Poppins. Okay. We're just going to hit Control, Shift, and the letter O on the keyboard, or if you're on a Mac, Command, Shift, O. It's going to create an outline of the object, and there we go. Okay, so let's make this. We want to make this as mentioned at the top and the bottom. Go. Perfect. That'll work. Okay. Excuse me, this fucking cat here, man. Woo! All right. So now let us, actually, you know what, this looks a little bolder. So let's go here to stroke and make this a bit thicker. Looks about right. Okay, I'm gonna make this slightly smaller. And I'm holding Alt and the Shift key to make it smaller evenly, and then go in from this, into the center. Okay, so now we're going to go to Object, Path, and then Outline Stroke. So now there's no stroke, it's all just solids. And we'll go over here to Pathfinder and click Join again. Now we've got a thicker C. Awesome. So now we've got all the basic objects. And if you remember, you'll see G, Ungroup, and you'll remember that there's two pieces here. We'll get into that in a minute, but for now, this is all the basic. So let's get into the fun stuff, the gradients. So the way to do this, if you click Control-Y, on your keyboard, it'll make everything outlined. And you can see, if you go into the outline, you can see the gradient for the C, the way this is done. So we're just going to go into the pen tool. We're going to click on right here. And it looks like, oh, here's where I'm at. And we'll go like this. Okay, that looks about right. And we're going to go ahead and click this to make that piece come off. And now we're still here, so you don't want it connected. So I just want to press escape to deselect. And then we'll go in, and it looks like right around here and start again. Again, we're just going to click and drag. Perfect. Okay, and same thing. We're going to go here and then escape. And the last one is going to be from here to, looks like, here's good enough for now. You get the idea of what I'm doing. And if you hold shift, it'll again be incremental, but I don't think I want that. I'm going to just do that. And again, just click it to deselect, and then escape to deselect. Click it to get rid of that tangent. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now the next thing we will do is we'll go back to the selection tool here, and we're going to select the C, and then hold the shift key to also select that line, and this line. Now we're going to hit, I believe it is Shift K on the keyboard. Note that is incorrect. Is it just K on the keyboard? Yes, just K on the keyboard. This is going to be the live paint tool. And we're going to get Control Y or Command Y again to take it out of the wireframe. And actually, now that I did this, you'll see that these lines are actually, we need to make them, they're filled. And we need to take them, take this, and go to no fill. We don't want any fill. And get started. So let's select each of those lines and go to no fill again. Perfect. Last one. Done. Awesome. Okay. So now let's go ahead and select this. And again, hold shift, select all these lines here. Just like that. Awesome. Now let's hit K on the keyboard, bring up the live selection tool. And again, it doesn't matter what color you use. Let's start the first one, this blue. We're just going to click that and select there. Use orange for the next one, and whatever again you want, doesn't matter. Just so you can tell the difference. Let's use green for this. And then the last one we can make, I don't know what pink, how about that? Okay, cool. So we got all these different things. So now that we've done that, we can come up here to Object, and we'll just click Expand. When we want to expand the whole thing, the object, the fill, the stroke, everything, even though there isn't a stroke, just best practices. So let's click OK here. Awesome. Now I'm assuming, yep, these are all grouped, so let's just go Control-Shift-G again to ungroup. And now you'll see, A. Now you'll see we need to ungroup it a little more. That's why I was doing that. So let's select everything again and hit Control-Shift-G again, or Command-Shift-G. Yep, so now you'll see, just like before, they're all into the separate pieces. Okay. Hitting Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac. Bring them all back together, and now it's just a matter of applying these gradients. So we select this, G, ungroup, and let's just select one of these, and we can see this gradient, pretty simple, just 3 colors here. Right? So let's take this piece, and normally, typically I could just hit I for eyedropper, right? And then select this, and it would automatically do that. However, since this is a tutorial, I'll show you exactly how I do it, just in case you are brand new and don't know how to apply gradient. So let's put a random color back, blue, and then go ahead and select our gradient over here, or G on the keyboard. And we will, let's go V on the keyboard to get the selection tool, select this, now hit G on the keyboard so we can make a gradient. So now we've got a gradient, and it does pre-fill because that's the last one we used, but long story short, it's pretty simple. I can change any of these colors. If I come up here to the swatches and I want to make this start with this color, it doesn't really matter. So anyway, you see what I mean for the gradient. So we go there, now we just go Control V, and it looks like, actually let's go. It looks like, so this is an angled, so we're gonna go over here and we're just gonna rotate this like this, and then it's also more yellow. So then if we just take over here and we just move it up like so, Let's move that down. Okay, that looks pretty good. So then let's go back to the selection tool and come here and apply again the gradient. This see is just the same gradient repeating, nothing too crazy, but I do want this orange kind of get this nice like dark fold shadow look here. So let's go ahead and rotate this again and bring it so the orange is starting there. And we're also going to take it and move it so again you get that nice and dark. You can also adjust here, and it does the same thing. If you want to adjust this way, you can see, oh, I just had it. It does the same thing if I adjust on. Cool, so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do the rest of these. Here, G, just like the gradient. Go here again. That looks pretty good, just like that. Okay, and now we shall go this last gradient, last part, and then create another gradient. And just like that. Looks good. Okay, cool. We've got this C done now. So next, let's get this background done. So these, you can see the gradients here again. It's simple 3-color gradient, nothing crazy. So we'll go here, gradient. Now let's just apply this gradient. Oh, perfect. And then we'll go over here. So go to the selection tool, and you can also hit I on the keyboard for the eyedropper. Let's just select this and boom, it's in there like that. Here. Last, we're going to select this, and let's see what we did here. We did the same gradient, so we're going to go I, select this. Let's do that again. Let's go I, select here, perfect same color, but we don't want it to be the exact same. You want it darker so it gives the illusion that it's behind, right? So how I did that was I just select this, and I'm going to go Control-C, Control-Shift-V to copy and paste again, and we are going to move it all the way to the back. And then we're going to click off. That did not go all the way. Control-Shift in the left bracket to go all the way to the back. There we go. So then let's select, because they're the exact same thing, so it doesn't matter. We're going to select one. And now we're going to take, and we're just going to apply, I believe this is just the color black, yeah, with a lowered opacity, I think 50%. So we're going to take this, and we are just going to go to this black swatch, perfect, and we're going to lower this opacity to 50%. You can do that, or you can just type it in if you want to be precise, 50, enter, boom. And now we can just select everything, best practice again, especially if you're exporting to a client. Hit Control-G to group everything. We'll scale it down. And I think I might have made that C a little too thick this time, but you get the idea. So that is how I made my logo. Like I said, tomorrow, the next upload, I will show you how I did the logo animation. I first created the logo in Illustrator, just like this. Then I took it over to Adobe After Effects to create the motion graphics piece. So guys, I really appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like the video if this was helpful, and I'll keep putting out content here. You can also visit my company at creativejc.com.